I've always believed marriages don't collapse in a single instant. They fade slowly, like paper left out in the rain. You don't notice the damage until you try to pick it up, and it crumbles in your hands. For me, the breaking point came the night I opened her diary. My wife, Lena, had been distant for months. Not cold, that would have been simpler to handle. She was warm in all the ways that didn't matter and absent in all the ways that did. She laughed at my jokes in front of friends, kissed my cheek before leaving for work, asked about my day, but there was a hollowness in her eyes, like her mind was somewhere else entirely. I blamed myself. Maybe I worked too much. Maybe I wasn't exciting enough. Maybe she needed space or time I couldn't see. But deep down, a quiet dread was growing. The kind that keeps you awake even when exhaustion has claimed your body. One evening, she said she was going for a late-night walk to clear her head. Lena never took late-night walks. She grabbed her purse too quickly, her voice trembling slightly. She avoided looking at me as she left. That avoidance, that small, deliberate act, shattered something inside me. After she walked out, I sat on the couch pretending to watch TV, but my thoughts kept circling. She's hiding something. She's slipping away. Part of me wanted to ignore it, to wait for her return and pretend everything was normal. But another part, the desperate, terrified part, needed answers. While pacing our bedroom, I noticed a small, letter-bound book peeking out from under her pillow. Brown cover, worn edges, her handwriting on the front, her diary. I shouldn't have touched it. I knew that. But when the person you love begins to vanish before your eyes, boundaries blur, and fear drives you to do things you swore you never would. My hands shook as I opened it to the most recent page. The first line stole my breath. I think I'm finally ready to leave him. I read it again. Each word cut deeper. And then the next sentence made my vision blur. He has no idea, but everything is almost set. My heart pounded. Set for what? Where was she going? And with whom? I sank onto the edge of the bed, clutching the diary to my chest, trying to steady my racing thoughts. Every line made the room feel smaller, tighter, like I was trapped inside her mind, and she wasn't there to explain herself. These weren't vague complaints or fleeting frustrations. They were detailed plans, dates scribbled down, names underlined, notes about packing what she might need. My stomach turned with every word, a mix of disbelief, anger, and heartbreak. I can't keep attending anymore. One line read, "He won't notice until it's too late, and by then I'll be gone." The diary trembled in my hands. My mind rewound the past few months, searching for signs I'd missed. Late nights at the office, unexplained phone calls, her sudden obsession with girls' nights. Every small lie, every hidden text suddenly made sense. Lena hadn't been distant because of stress or boredom or depression. She had been planning. Quietly. Methodically. Leaving me. I felt my chest tighten as I flipped through more pages. There was a chilling precision to her words, a cold clarity to her intentions. This wasn't a fleeting thought. She had convinced herself leaving me was necessary, inevitable even. The diary wasn't just confessional, it was operational. I could see the lines she had drawn in her mind, the careful timeline, the precise preparations. And then my hands froze on a page titled The Endgame. The words hit me like a physical blow. Everything will be done by the end of next month. I'll have my apartment, my job, my freedom. He'll never see it coming. I dropped the diary onto the bed and ran my hands over my face, trying to process the betrayal. I wanted to scream,
to cry,
to demand answers. But the diary had already taken that power from me. It revealed her truth, stripped of excuses, stripped of softness. I realized something terrifying. The woman I loved, the woman I trusted, had been living a double life right in front of me. Every laugh, every kiss, every "I love you" was a carefully constructed mask. And I had been blind. My heart pounded with a question I didn't want to voice. How long had she been planning this? And then another, sharper one. Did she ever love me at all? I sat on the edge of the bed for what felt like hours, staring at the diary, hands trembling. Everything I believed about our marriage, the trust, the love, the quiet comfort of being partners had shattered. I felt hollow, as if the ground beneath me had vanished. The next evening, Lena returned. She smiled, unaware her carefully hidden secret had been discovered. She greeted me with her usual warmth, but her eyes flicked to the diary on the bed. I hadn't moved it. She froze for a fraction of a second, the first crack in her mask. "Lena," I said, voice steady but cold. "We need to talk." She tilted her head. "About what?" I picked up the diary and held it between us like a shield. "This. Every plan you wrote, every line about leaving me, every word about pretending, it's all here." Her lips parted, a faint tremor on her jaw. For a moment, I thought she might lie, but the diary didn't lie. Her eyes filled with guilt. Finally, some truth. I didn't mean for you to see that," she whispered. "Did you ever love me?" I interrupted. "Did you ever care about this marriage, or was it all just a rehearsal for your exit?" Tears welled in her eyes. I didn't want to hurt you. I was confused. I thought leaving quietly would be easier for both of us." I laughed bitterly. "Easier? Easier? You plan to abandon me like a stranger. That's not easier. That's betrayal." She reached out, but I stepped back, keeping the diary between us. "I can't do this, Lena. I can't stay with someone who's been planning to erase me from her life while I was still trying to build ours." Her shoulders slumped. "I didn't know what else to do." "You didn't know?" I repeated, voice rising. "You had a choice every day. And every day you chose to lie, to hide, to plan behind my back. And now you expect me to understand." She shook her head, unable to meet my eyes. I could see the guilt etched in her expression, but it couldn't repair what was broken. Not after everything I had just read. Her intentions, her cold calculations, her quiet exit plan. I placed the diary on the dresser and walked to the door. I paused, looking back one last time. "I hope you find what you're looking for, Lena. But I won't be part of it." And with that, I left. Some betrayals aren't meant to be forgiven. Some truths are too heavy to carry. And some marriages, no matter how long they've lasted, don't end with a fight, not with a scream, but with a quiet, inevitable revelation.